Hello, everyone. This is Brother Darrick Tucker. This is our regular scheduled business owners meeting. We hold on Saturday afternoon at 12 noon Central Standard Time. I want to thank everybody for actually those that's actually on our call. I appreciate it. We will be having probably some more coming in. I'll go ahead and let them in as they come. Our guest speaker for this afternoon is Patrina Pelton-Smith. She is a say it again, certified grant writer. That means she's specialized. She didn't just follow the turn truck side one day. She's just going to start doing grants. She's been doing it for a while. She's going to explain who she is, her expertise, and how and she is getting grant and can help you get a grant, as well as the benefits of grants, as well as probably even talk about tax write-offs and things of the grants and stuff of that nature. We will also, when she wraps it up, she's going to have a Q&A sessions immediately after that. So please do us a favor, hold your questions, comments to the end. She's going to be expedient. She's not going to go over every single detail of grants writing. She's not here for that today. This is not a workshop. This is a conference call. Next year, we'll be doing workshops, and part of that workshop, she will be going into that. It'll be about an hour, hour and a half, but this today is just a conference call with her as our guest speaker. So she's not going to go into super detail. She's going to cover the basics, the high points. If you have any questions, please be enthusiastic asking those questions and keep them as short as you possibly can. Now, she also is going to give you her contact information. So for those people that don't get it and really want to contact her later, please do that. We're going to actually explain to you. We have her contact information. She is one of our sponsors. Rhinos Nation is a company that's been built up since 2010. We're bringing in Black business owners. We're going to go over that as well. So we want you to sit down, enjoy yourself, get the information, please. We're not here for entertainment. This is strictly for how to get and acquire grants, not only for your business, for your organization, also for individuals. So please be diligent to be professional and respectful of our guests. So with that being said, please put your phones and computers on mute for right now. We're going to go over a short prayer, and then we're going to get started. Let's go to our Father in prayer. Father God Almighty, thanks again for another blessed day. Please continue to bless us as we strive, do everything decent in order, do everything we can to help our people to grow and become more self-sufficient and most positive, professional, and Christ-like man. Continue to bless us in our meeting this afternoon, Father, and please continue to bless our speaker, Ms. Smith, that's coming in to speak to us about grants, how we can acquire them, and how they can be a benefit to us, Father. Continue to bless us. Everything we do is decent in order. In the name of Lord Jesus Christ, we do so pray. Amen. Again, I appreciate everybody for coming in. Get your pencil, pens, or whatever you want to do on your phones to be able to jot down notes. Please do that. We are recording. But if you have questions, please hold your questions, again, to the end when she says she's opening the door for Q&A. And she don't have to wait until the very end. She may do that at a session and say, okay, at this part, anybody got any questions going on? Just wait on her. She's a professional, so she knows how to do this. I appreciate her for being here. Miss Smith, I'm calling her Miss Smith because out of respect, but I know her as Patrina. If you don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and get this over to you so you will have control over actually posting and sharing any information you need. Let me get that to you here real quick.
Okay.
And when we do that, I'll make her the host. All right, Queen, the floor is yours.
All righty. Hello, everyone. I'm happy to see everyone here. I have a presentation for you all, so I'm going to share that and put it in slideshow.
Hold on real quick, Queen, while you're doing that. I forgot to do one major thing. The time now is 13 minutes after 12 noon. And it is December the 6th, 2025. Thank you.
All right, everyone. So I'm going to do a quick poll. How many of you all are already in business? If you'll just raise your hand or give me a thumbs up emoji or some type of emoji, that will let me know where you are. Anybody right now, your business is up and running. Okay, I see a couple of thumbs up emojis. Okay, perfect. Is everyone else a startup? So you're starting up a company, you're thinking about starting up a company, give me a thumbs up emoji, heart, something. Okay, there we go. So I see. And others are just here because you're curious. That's okay too. That lets me know where I am. So um, I am Patrina Pelton-Smith. I am a consultant for small businesses and nonprofits. I started in the nonprofit arena um, years ago. I'll go ahead and put it out there. It's been coming up on 28 years. My son just turned 27. And so I started just slightly before he came into this world. And so I have worked in this space as a nonprofit leader for several of these nonprofits. If you're familiar with any of the Houston area nonprofits, then you will recognize a couple of names. I actually know got my law degree from Texas Tech. And so I started actually as a volunteer with the Love and Great Crisis Center that kind of gave me my love for nonprofits. In fact, one of my peers at that time, he said, I don't see you practicing law. He's like, I see you running a nonprofit somewhere. Um, I don't know if he knew he was a prophet, but that is exactly the direction that I headed in. I did not practice law. I went into nonprofit spaces and began doing that work, as you saw. So for those of you all who love our HBCUs, I am a Prairie View A&M grad. You know, I know we're on the other side of the world from you all, but just in case you know PV, I am a PV alum. As Darrick mentioned, I am Grant Professional Certified, or GPC, which means that I have taken an exam, and that exam was not only for just my knowledge of grants, but it's about the practice of grant writing and grant seeking. And so as a result of that, I am now one of 500. There's a little bit more than 500 of us. When I took my exam and passed it in 2023, there were actually less than 500 of us. And so I'm really proud of that because it means that I am in the top half of my profession when I am talking about grants and grant writing. I really do know what I'm talking about, and that's important. We'll talk about why that's important in just a second. And then for those of you all who are military, I'm the daughter and the mother of a military veteran. And so I've had some years of experience of being that kid that went around. Fortunately for me, my father was pretty stable in the States. He did a lot of traveling. Even when we were in Europe, he did a lot of traveling. And my mother was able to kind of keep us in one place. And so while we visited Europe and other places, we did not have to rotate like every 3 years. We were actually at Fort Hood, which is now Fort Cavazos. I'm feeling some kind of way about that because I was actually born at Fort Hood. My birth certificate says Fort Hood. And, you know, we're going through this space where everything has been changed. So that's a whole different issue. So Business of Charity, we have been in existence since 2018 under this name. I actually launched the company in 2011, part-time when I was still the executive of New Horizon Family Center. I did some side work as well. And at that time, it was Trinity Consulting Services. But people always ask me, what did that mean? And so in 2018, I decided to use my tagline because I said, I helped you with the business of charity, because it is a business. The reality of it is that if you don't have the infrastructure in place, the resources and the capital, then your nonprofit, and as you all know, small businesses are struggling. So we have secured over $8 million in funds. I need to update that. That was last year. We're now at about $10 million. And I know you will probably see some people say, hey, we've done $1 billion in funds, but I'm going to be real with you. You can say anything you want to say, but we actually have the actual receipts and documents to prove up how much money we have brought in for entities. Last year we did $1 million for actually about $500,000 of that was for one organization. The rest was for several others. And we have been funding through various organizations like here in Texas, the Office of the Governor, the Mid-Arts American Alliance, the George Foundation, and Verizon Grants. And we'll talk more about that and how you can take advantage of that. And then not only am I the CEO, but I'm my own client. So I have written grants for myself and received funding. So I received the City of Houston Recovery Grant, the Houston Comcast, and I say Houston, actually, it was Comcast Rise. It was focused on Houston at that time in 21. And then I also received People Fund's BIPOC Accelerator Grant and Loan. We're going to talk more about how you can also get funding for that. Now, I stopped writing for me in 2022 because it got really busy up until this year. And so just last month, I submitted the Gusto grant for my organization. And I think the month before, I did the Houston, Texas grant. So I'm waiting to see what comes from those two opportunities. So grants for small businesses is a new thing. Now, you probably have heard this entire time that there are tons of grants out there, and that is true. But what was not true, and I would get these calls all the time before 2020, where people would say, I heard there are grants out there for startups. And the reality of it is that there were not grants out there for startups. And there's still fewer grants out there. More grants are for existing businesses who have been at least 1 year. And sometimes there is a funding requirement, meaning you've made a certain level of revenue. So instead of funding, I should have said revenue. So sometimes they say, okay, you've been in business for a year and you've made about 25,000 in revenue. Other grants do say it doesn't matter how much in revenue, but we're looking for organizations that have this very specific either niche. So either you're a product or a service. Sometimes companies don't know what they want. And so that's why it's important to be able to listen and also look at their terms and conditions to make a determination as to whether or not you fit. So 15 minutes of fame, small businesses have arrived. There were tons of grants out here 2020, 2021, 2022. They're kind of trickling down back to probably a more nominal rate and where we will probably see them stay. They're not going away, but there are definitely fewer grants that are out there than there were in 2020. And so when you do a search for grants for small businesses, I did this in 2024. I was very intentional about this because I want you to see the difference between this slide and the next one. So when I searched for grants in 2024 and I said small business grants, notice I got 4 million results in 0.35 seconds. There's a lot of grants out there, yes. But you also want to make sure that they are legitimate grants. So now when I did the search, when I updated this presentation, welcome to the future of AI, what we saw was there were tons of grants, but a lot more AI information telling you about legitimate grants. So in that regard, if you whether you like AI or you don't like AI, the reality of it is a tool. We might as well master it. It's not going anywhere. And so the good news about this is that now AI is giving you more accurate information. I won't always say that it's exactly perfect, but it's definitely accurate. And so, as always, test your links, make sure that the platform that you're looking at or you're using is reputable and has some, authenticity to it, some background for it. But don't be afraid to also use AI to help you in your search. The reason why this is important is because there have been so many scams. Now, of course, the further we get away from the pandemic, we see less, news articles about it. But the reality of it is that on any given day, I don't know about you, but if I'm logged into Facebook, somebody's knocking on my door, trying to get me to apply for a government grant on somebody's webpage within Facebook, and they're telling me that it's some officer of some pretend government organization. And this was before Trump came in and started dismantling all of these government organizations. So, it sounded really legitimate. If you didn't know better, you probably would fall for it. And a couple of people, even were so-called friends because they had cloned their account. And so now it's a so-called friend or family member. On good days when I have time, I might play with them and, before I shut them down and report them. On bad days, I'm just like, stop being a scammer, go away. But there are definitely still scammers out there. And so this one was the Grant Bay, who was specifically talking about grants, particularly around that time, the PPP, the EIDL. And because they were stealing, essentially, they were telling you they were going to provide grants to you. They got in trouble. So this particular one was Florida based. I forgot how much money she took, but it was millions from individuals and spreading false promises. They're still out there. So just be careful who, if you're looking for grants, making sure that they are legitimate. But as I was updating my presentation, I found grants, loans, and incentives through the city of Memphis. So I don't know if you recognize this webpage, but this is the city's homepage. And so if you have not, as a business owner, started right in your backyard looking for loans, grants, and other incentives like tax credits, tax breaks, then you definitely need to take a look at this. And I know most of you all are in the Memphis area. I'm in Houston. I know CW is in Dallas-Fort Worth area. So because of the majority of you all being there, I focus more in Tennessee this time. But there are others, and we'll talk about them as we go through programs that are available not only in Memphis, but across the U.S. So what do you need to include in your grant package? Here is your chart. And like Darrick said, we're not going to do a deep dive into this today. But what I want you to know is that these are the basic things you need to have as you are seeking out grants on any level, whether it is for the state, whether it's for the city, if it's a national grant. Basically, if you can answer all of these questions on this checklist, you are probably going to have a very good narrative that will help you go out and get funding. First and foremost, notice that the top of my list is a business plan. If you do not have a business plan in place, and let's be real, I need to update my business plan right now. Usually I do it in the month of December. I usually shut down the last week after Christmas, and I focus on getting everything ready for the next year. And so I need to update my business plan myself right now. But I took the time out to create my business plan. When I started out, it was really, really rough. It was only a couple of pages. And as I have grown, as I have matured, I have made sure that that document now reflects who and what I do. So business plans are out there. There are several, if you Google, that will help you create them. A matter of fact, Live Plan is one of them that I used a few years ago to update and create my current plan. And then, of course, if you use Microsoft, they have software within Microsoft Word that will give you a business plan that you can use. And Google, of course, is amazing. It's going to give you templates after templates after templates. So make sure that you sit down and you develop that plan, because we're going to talk about CDFIs in just a moment. And there are some CDFIs out there that will give you money with just a business plan and a bank statement. So make sure you have that in place. And then your business documents, you should have these in an electronic folder somewhere where when it's time for you to hit go, you just go in and say, okay, I've got my mission statement ready to go. I have my certificate of formation. That's what we call it here in Texas. You all probably call it articles of incorporation, because I've done some work for several Rhinos Nation business owners. And I know that I have done some filing for you all as well in the state of Tennessee. So yours are articles of incorporation. Make sure you have your document ready and make sure that you're up to date. Because the other issue that I often find with both my nonprofit and my business owners is that you don't do your compliance paperwork. You don't file your annual reports. And guess what? The state loves it when you don't, because they're going to revoke you and then force you to start your process all over again. Now, Texas does not charge for you to file your annual report, which is nice. That's not so in Tennessee. They make you pay your fee all over again annually. So if it was $300 for you to create your organization, it's $300 for you to file your annual report. But you've got to do it, because the other piece is all of these funders that we're talking about are going to make sure that you are actually registered and active in your current state, meaning you don't have any outstanding taxes or anything else that you may owe. So make sure you have your certificate of formation, your articles of incorporation, any other amendments that you may have had, because sometimes you go in and you change your name, so that's an amendment. You need to make sure you have all those documents ready for the funders when they ask for them. And then in your narrative, talk about who you are. Almost every business grant I have applied for, first and foremost, wants to know who you are. Why did you start your company? What problem are you solving? Have you had any challenges? How have you overcome them? How will you use the money? And this is the other part about it. How do you serve your community? That has been the common theme. They want to know that not only are you making money, but you are also serving your community. Now, here's a little sidebar. During particularly the height of the pandemic, when they were really giving out money to the community, so much of that money was tied to where the business owner lived. And so there were several grant opportunities that were focused on low income areas. But the problem was your company had to actually have an office or an address in that community to receive the money. And so here's what I learned from that. I'm like, not only do they want to invest in us in marginalized communities, because that's the now new term with this current administration, has to be marginalized. We can't say under-resourced, underutilized. It has to be those who are marginalized. And I'll get off my soapbox right there. But what I saw, what I complained to a couple of my representatives was, oh, you want me to not only help in those communities, but you want me to live in those communities, meaning I can't live anywhere else and serve in those spaces. So that is true. And that's how government funding is sometimes tied to being the problem. So if you are not also advocating for small businesses, then you want to make sure that you learn how to do that, connect to that issue, because there are organizations out there. I'm a member of the National Association of Women Business Owners, NAWBO. We are an advocacy and a networking organization. Matter of fact, because of NAWBO in 1988, women used to have a male co-signer on all of their documents, even if that male co-signer was their child. I actually met a woman whose 17-year-old son at that time had to sign her loan document because she needed a male relative on it. Well, NAWBO in 1988 helped pass the HR 5050 law that meant that you no longer had to have a male co-signer as a woman business owner on your documents. And so knowing how to advocate for yourself is really important, and how you serve the community is also equally important. They want to know that not only are you making money, but you're also giving back. So if you don't already have that incorporated into your business model, into your business plan, make sure you do that. Then other things are your W-9, which is just simply your form explaining to the IRS or certifying to the business and the IRS when they submit it that you are a legitimate organization. You want to have a resolution. A resolution is simply a document that indicates that you, as the business owner, have agreed to do whatever it is they're requesting. So, for instance, I did receive EIDL money. And so as a part of that, I had to actually sign a resolution, even though it was just me. I had to agree with me that I was going to pay back the money to the government. And so a resolution, and oftentimes they will give you that document. If not, reach out if you ever need one. I have plenty of resolutions. An operation budget. I do a presentation and I call it the other B word, because you have to have a budget before you know how much money you're seeking. If you don't know your total operation costs, then you can't say, I need $50,000, because they're going to ask you, how are you going to use it? And so that budget helps you drive where and when that money will be deployed. So make sure you have an operation budget. And then your financials. How many of you are using some type of accounting software? Everyone? Anyone? Any thumbs up?
Say it again, Queen.
Is everyone using some type of accounting software? QuickBooks, Wave, NetSuite. NetSuite is really huge. I don't recommend NetSuite if you're starting out. If you're a major corporation or a larger business, NetSuite is probably really useful. Microsoft has an accounting software, but you've got to use something. I started out using FreshBooks. FreshBooks, gave me what I needed at that time, and then they asked for some additional information, and I moved into QuickBooks. So these are all things that you want to make sure that you have in place, because you want to be able to say, okay, I see one MP gave me a thumbs up. Thank you so much. Because you want to make sure that you have the ability to run a profit and loss statement, a cash flow statement, and a balance sheet. And so your funders are going to be asking questions about your profit and loss. Well, how do you know that if you don't have an accounting software? And Excel is great. And I've seen some wizards with Excel who got some amazing Excel spreadsheets. Matter of fact, I was sitting in a presentation a couple of weeks ago of Brown QuickBooks, and one of the attendees asked, well, I have a great Excel sheet. Why do I need to switch to QuickBooks? Because when you get ready to present it to a funder, they don't want to see it on Excel. They want to see a report that's going to give them the information that they're looking for. They don't want to have to decipher it, and they're going to have to decipher it if you're giving them an Excel worksheet. So QuickBooks is always running Excel. I am not an affiliate. I should be, simply because I do recommend them, because I know it gives the level of reporting that funders are looking for, whether you're a nonprofit or a small business. And so those are the key points that you want to have in your grant package. Now, what are some other things to consider? Other funding options? Contracting. So how many of you have considered contracting or are contracting right now? Anyone? Okay, so let's talk about contracting, because sometimes people get afraid of, well, am I ready for contracting? And there are some requirements that go along with it, such as, for instance, one funder may ask, like the city of Memphis may say, you know what, if you contract with us, we're going to require that you have at least $1 million in insurance. We're going to require that you cover workers' comp insurance. Texas does not require workers' comp, but oftentimes if you're contracting with a government or a corporate entity, they're going to require that you have some type of insurance. And so those are things that you need to begin to look at if you are looking at your budget. How do I put that in? So I've had this happen a few times with clients. They're submitting a proposal, RFP, whatever it's being called, an RQA, RFQ, whatever they are calling it. And at the last minute, I'm sending them to my insurance agent to get a quote so that they can then say, okay, while we may not have insurance today, we will have it as of X day if we're awarded this contract. Now, of course, that impacts you when you're applying for the contract, because then they say, well, maybe you just lost 10 points because you don't have insurance today. But if it's a 100-point system, that still means you have 90 more points to be able to earn the ability to contract with that entity. So the other thing to consider when you're contracting is not being the primary, but being a subcontractor. And so you would need to go in to register for City of Memphis or whoever, because we're going to talk about a couple of more, whatever entity and whatever platform they're using. City of Memphis says that they use the system called Beacon. Here, a lot of contractors that I'm familiar with uses another system called Bonfire. And so registering for whatever platform or system so that you can see the RFPs and RFQs is important for you. Now, when I clicked on the RFQ link, I think there were about 6 different opportunities that were open for the city of Memphis. And so if you are providing a service, they need it. Sometimes it's as simple as, we need a quote on buying toilet paper. If you want to, and that's what you do, submit a bid to give them toilet paper. But make sure that you are receiving this so you know what the bids are by registering with the system. The next one was Shelby County. And so I went into Shelby County. Shelby County did not say what platform they were using, so maybe they're using an internal system, but these were just a portion of the list. I even screenshot the entire list of RFQs, RFPs that are open right now in, as you can see, different areas. So everything from a consultant for government relations to the fire department who needs a medical director, but also personal protective turnout gear and accessories. If that's your area and you supply that type of gear, you can come in and put in a proposal for it. The health department, human resources, and IT. And I know we have some IT people here. And so with that being the case, this gives you the opportunity to be able to offer them services in whatever area you provide those services. And then the other area, University of Memphis. So they have a contract service separate, of course, from all of these others, and where you can go in and do and offer services to them as well. So they did not have an open list, so I couldn't see how many opportunities that they had. But I did notice down here at the bottom, anybody doing snack and beverage vending? Because they have that on their website where you can click the link and sign up to register to do business with them. So if that's something that you offer, take a look at them and see how you can connect with them to offer that as a service as well. Now, loan and grant options, because we talk about grants as a separate entity, but sometimes your loan and your grant come together. And I had that experience through People Fund. So People Fund is a CDFI, and so it's a commercial development financial institute that essentially was created in 1994. They have to provide funding to small businesses and nonprofits. That's their only focus. That's their only purpose. Here in the Texas area and several other states, I could not find one specifically for Memphis. There are nonprofits that specifically do this. So People Fund was the organization that I work with. I've been tracking People Fund since 2013, right after I was laid off and opened up my company. I began seeing they had services. I attended events that they hosted, educational seminars, webinars. And finally, in 2022, I took the dive when they opened up their BIPOC accelerator. And at that time, BIPOC was something that was really being promoted. So BIPOC means Black, Indigenous, People of Color. Their accelerator was focused on helping marginalized, under-resourced, undercapitalized organizations of color, organizations led by people of color that were needing capital, credit, education. And so they provided that as a resource. And so I was able to get a grant of $4,000 and a loan of $40,000 that I am still paying back. I think I have about 18 months left on it. But it was a huge investment into my business, and it helped me begin to move forward. So CDFIs are a great place for you as a business owner to consider looking at getting funding. And you're like, okay, but I don't have everything I need. You talked about the business plan. You do need a business plan. And that is where most of the CDFIs will start, is that if you have at least a business plan, you will be able to get what some of them call flash funds, what some of them call microloans, and anything under $50,000 is considered a microloan. And so you get that funding, but it helps resource your business, helps you move to that next level. So again, I did not find any specific nonprofits in the Tennessee, Memphis area, or just even across the state. I found a lot of banks, and we'll talk about that next slide. But some other larger national CDFIs who are doing work in communities, sometimes it's directly through their fund, which is the Action Community Opportunity Fund, AOF. They've been around for many years. And so they began offering opportunities, and I became more aware of them around the pandemic. But I think they've been in existence for about 20 years. And so they offer funding across regions. You can go to their website and take a look at where they fund, what they fund. And not only do they offer the microloans, but they also work and partner with the SBA to offer the SBA funds, if you're familiar with those. Those are loans that usually go up, I believe, to $1 million, as well as larger loans that could be up to, I believe, $5 million. So take a look at both LISC and Action Opportunity Funding to be able to see if it fits for your organization. But there are organizations in the Memphis area. I was able to locate these two. And so I believe TSB is Trust Egg Bank, and then River City Capital Investment. They are directly in your area. There were a list of others, but when I began to Google locations, most of them I noticed were in the Knoxville area. So I did not do a deep dive into that list. If you Google CDFIs in Tennessee, that list will come back up and you can take a look and see if there's anything that's in your area. If you are outside of Tennessee, Texas, again, I talked about People Fund, but in addition to People Fund, there's also the LIFT Fund. The LIFT Fund actually serves not only Texas, but several other states like Louisiana, and I believe they go as far over as Georgia, and then come back over, and I think they do, what's the next state over? New Mexico or Arizona, something like that. They're kind of regional. But here's the good news. There are 22 CDFIs in the state of Tennessee. And of those, they have awarded $34 million in funding. So obviously there is the ability for you to get funding. And these are specifically, as you saw in the definition, for those individuals who are of color, who are considered without access to resources, and they will help benefit you. So funders to keep an eye on, I found the Fund Tennessee when I was doing my search. This is where they say they will give you not only grants, but they will give you education and then also loans. So check out Fund Tennessee. They have their qualifications there for you to look at and see if you're already eligible for their services. And if not, much like me, they probably do a lot of foundational work to help you get ready. Now, Hello Alice, my gosh, when they first kicked off in 2020, had thousands of grants on their page. It's trickling down a little bit. Today, I was only able to find one. It is a disaster relief fund for businesses. And so that one's in partnership with DoorDash. We are at the end of the grant season. Most money, if you are looking for grants, you start looking for grants, at least a year in advance. So I will tell you that if you're going to seek grants now, you're already really looking for funding into 2027, because that sometimes takes a period of time, depending on the funder. It could be 30 days, but oftentimes it's usually 90 days or 6 months, or if it's a government grant, sometimes 10 to 12 months before you will be notified whether or not you received the funding. And so with that being the case, the earlier you start looking for grant funding, the better, the more likely you are to receive it for that year that you're looking for. If it's a specific project or if you're in need of quick cash, then you're probably going to be looking at a CDFI versus a grant. But helloalice.com is another great resource. They have funding and grant opportunities listed there. You sign up for their newsletter, you will get it in your inbox. I Fund Women was another one that came out of the pandemic and has expanded its services since then. When it started, it was just I Fund Women. Now they are founded through Honeycomb Credit. And so they offer funding, coaching, connection, and startups. Now, you may think that because of the name, they only fund women. They do not. Matter of fact, a grant that was out there last year, I wrote it for a client, and it was for veterans. It was for men in general. It was through a football club, a women's football club, but they were also encouraging men to apply. And so don't be scared off by the name. They have a universal application, which in fact, I need to go update mine. And so that way you will be able to see when funding comes out, they will, if you've already submitted your universal application, they will consider your company for that funding. And then Verizon Digital Readiness, they have been giving grants away since 2021. They were a little bit slower to come out, but as you can see, they've been very consistent in giving out money, 14 million in 4 years. And so this grant, take note of it. They have one due December the 10th. You have up until 11:59 p.m. So you have 4 days to go register and take a little mini class, because that's how they do it. You go into their platform. When you sign in, there's little mini courses. They usually take you about 30 minutes. I did one day sitting at the doctor's office with my mother a couple of years ago. While I was there, I was able to finish it, submit it, and then I could apply for the $10,000 grants. And so definitely go ahead and apply if you have time to get this out the door before the 10th, because I believe that funding is going to be awarded by the 1st of January. And then they are partnered with LISC, which we talked about, to offer this funding as well. Excuse me. So, any questions?
Okay,
Yeah.
floor is open.
Said, what's the name of the grant again? And for this past grant you just said, I ain't hear the name of it.
Verizon Digital Ready. And if you Google Verizon Digital Ready, it will take you to their portal where you can sign up and then access their courses.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Now, well, let me. Are you close to wrapping up, Queen, or you got quite
I got one more slide?
Not a problem. I'll drop mine in there once you get through.
And so core services, what we offer is that we do grant and proposal development. So whether that's a government, a corporate, or private foundation, we offer those. And then business operation grants, which is what most of you all would probably be applying for unless you're a nonprofit entity. We do formations. And so, as I said, I have worked with several Rhinos Nation members to create organizations for them, both at the state and the IRS level. So whether you are a for-profit or a nonprofit, an LLC, a corporation, we can file it. We've done it not only in Tennessee, but in other states. And so I think right now, we have filed in about 16 states for different individuals and organizations. And then organizational development. We do executive coaching, whether that's one-on-one or in a group boot camp setting. Matter of fact, Rhinos Nation last year helped fund 2 seats for individuals to come in and attend boot camp. And so I think Darrick's going to talk more about that. And then we do budget development, because again, if you don't have your budget together, you don't even know where to begin seeking funds. You need, or how much to seek. I need to know what your budget is for us to be able to determine who we're going after in terms of funding and what type of funding that we're going to be seeking. And then we do grant management. So I've been managing government grants now for about 21 of those 28 years. And so we have a very good track record managing funds for organizations. And we've managed for any single organization up to $1 million at any given time. So in addition to writing the grants, we can also help you manage them once we've done that. So let's remain connected. You have my information here. I also dropped it in the chat for those who arrived earlier. It is also there. Please join us, Business of Charity. You can go there and sign up for the newsletter. I don't always post on LinkedIn as much as I should, but I'm getting ready to do more of that in 2026. You will probably more than likely find me on Facebook or TikTok. But please, either way, join in. I share tips, information, resources in all those places. You will not catch me dancing on TikTok. I'm going to share resources and information. And so if there are no other questions, I will turn it back over to Darrick.
Appreciate you, Queen. Excellent presentation. Just outstanding. A lot of very good information. And the thing I love about actually going to have, or even having her to be a guest speaker, I learned so much when I speak to Patrina or actually attend into her event. She is extremely qualified in what she does. Turn it over, the hosting back over. Let me get the hosting back from you,
I
Queen.
sure will.
To take care of that. I got you, Queen. You know how to do it.
Okay.
I want to thank again, not only everybody that's actually in. If you came in after we got started, if you're not driving, please sign into the chat room area for us, please. And if you are a guest of someone that invited you, please put their name down as the person that invited you. Let me tell you why we do that. We are a company that's been in business since 2010. Rhinos Nation is here to help not only Black companies, but Black people to become more self-sufficient. So we have two ways to get in at Rhinos Nation. You come in as the general public, and that's open to any and everybody to come in as a member, and that's $120 for the year. And for those that's coming in for sponsors, we're only looking for Black business owners, and only certain Black business owners. No alcohol, tobacco, firearm, title loan, drug paraphernalia, tattoo companies, or casinos, or any religious companies. So other than that, we are eager to have you join our team. And one of the things we really love, are startups. I know we got like 2 or 3 startup companies that's on the call right now. We got quite a few startup companies that actually joined us in Rhinos Nation this year. The great thing about starting with us as a startup is that you don't have to go out there and do trial and error for 4, 5, 10 years and trying to figure it out and going through all these pitfalls, losing all this money, losing all this time. One thing you will never get back is time. You may be able to get some of your money back, but that's going to be rare. But you'll never get the time back. So why go through all that when you can get on our team and not only get all the expertise we have available, like we got people like Patrina that's doing the grant. We got Raymond that helping with the funding. We got Tommy that actually helped with the credit repair, which we're going to have speaking on come tomorrow. We got people on our team like CW and others that actually help with the advertising and marketing. Matter of fact, Patrina also helped with marketing. That's one of the things that you really, really need to get with her, because even though, and she was very, very helpful on giving out free information for you all today, because a lot of times, a lot of companies will not get it out. They still would like you to come to her. But now, even with that free information, it's still a lot of red tape and then pitfalls that you may fall into because you don't have her expertise. You can try to do it on your own. Like I tell people, saying, Tucker, I think I can create my own website. That's fine. But I'm an expert at graphic design, and I can tell right away if your website is done by an expert or you. So when you're doing something that's professional or you're looking at getting money in funds for your company, don't try to do it always on your own. A lot of times when we hold so tight to our pocket on getting money in, that we can't get the money in because we don't want to actually spend a little money to make money. Those rich companies do not make it become wealthy most of the time. 99% of the time, they make it because they spend money to make money. Say that again. They spend money to make money. Just on marketing advertising alone, they spend billions of dollars every year to advertise. One, do the marketing first. That means do the research. So let's not confuse advertising with marketing. They do the research. They actually put things together like having a business plan. You hear how she stressed that at the very beginning. The first thing she talked about, what a lot of Black people say that, well, I don't think I need a business plan. The first thing on her list was what? Getting a business plan. Why? Because you don't need to be out there trying to figure it out, falling down, trying to run into roadblocks or pitfalls and say, well, I didn't know I needed that. Or I didn't know I needed to do that. That's why you get a business plan, so you can actually have a forechart of how to do step-by-step procedures, and not only how to run the business, but once you get the business up and running, how to efficiently maintain it. And in order to get that funding, you're not going to be able to get that funding without a business plan. So you need to go through people, especially like Patrina. Now I'm going to ask this again because I'm going to ask, because I want everybody to be able to hear this. Patrina, so on your core services, are you helping these clients actually get their business plan that need it? You're on mute.
So I am not writing them, but I have a partner who is going to help do business plans. So yes.
But I want y'all to understand this now. We as Black business owners, but I'm going to help Patrina out. We as Black business owners, we got to get away from that. We do everything. So when I ask you if y'all do something, I don't care if you got somebody you team with, partner with, or whatever, because that's what almost all white companies have associates and business owners and marketers and management companies, supervisors, and all that stuff. We are not looking for black business owners to do every single thing. That's what I mean is you don't have to wear all the hats. If your company does it, I don't care if you partner with somebody. Like somebody come to me and say, well, Tucker, you got somebody does grants. Yes, we have somebody on our team. We have a team of black business owners that have skills to help you all become what? More efficient to be able to run your business. And one of the key things to do is actually be able to get funded. So we're helping with that today to let you all know. Now, if you want to go to Patrina, let me speak on this on Rhinos Nation. If you want to go to Patrina, she'll take 100% cash off the top. She has no problem in taking your money. Trust me when I tell you that. Now, if you go through Rhinos Nation, well, you want to let them know how much we actually pay out on their bill, Patrina, so they'll know it won't be coming from me. How much we pay if they come through Rhinos Nation?
I am an 80-20 member.
And that means what to them? We pay how much of their bill?
80%.
We pay 80% of your bill. Let me say it again. 80% of your bill. But Patrina don't care if she get 100% from you or we pay 80%. She has no whatsoever. At the end of the day, she's still getting paid. Now, if you all wish to do that, hats off to you. Got no problem with it. I'm always looking for somebody that can help me actually get some services plus actually pay the fees. Again, the white rich corporations get billions of dollars a year in grants while we all here pretending, going through that nonsense they've been feeding us. You know, black people are always looking for a handout. No one gets more handouts than the white corporations. So for those people that say, well, okay, they're being racist, I actually talk about facts and figures. Let me give you that. You can look this up. No one in this country gets more financial benefits than white corporations. It's not even close. Nobody gets more than them. That includes the small white companies. Don't come close to them. And we're not even talking about tax incentives where they get the write-off, where they don't pay, the bills that we pay, the gas, utilities, and things of that nature. They get incentives. They get incentives for how many workers they have. They get incentives to actually come to your city. They get incentives from the government to actually be in your city, to have, we have so many jobs we're gonna have available. They do not do what we do. So anytime you want to get a grant or a loan or free money from any deal, please get that and don't be ashamed and embarrassed to do that, because we're not in the ballpark of the free money that's going out. You're not even close. She said she did 8 to 10 million last year. That's like a grain of sand on the beach. It's not even close. So if you can get free grant money, please get in touch with Patrina as soon as you possibly can. She will help you from the steps so you can actually make sure you got all your ducks in a row, so you're not out there getting frustrated, so trying to fall down, trying to figure out how I get it done. So I don't know. Because most people told me, Patrina, they don't want to get grant because they don't, they've been ripped off, or they heard somebody being ripped off. There isn't anything. You go to the grocery store, you get ripped off. You're not finna stop going to the grocery store. Okay, let's be realistic when we say stuff like that. Let's not be foolish. That's why we have quality Black-owned businesses on our team. Everybody's not welcome on our team. Even if you fall within the energy deal, if you're not a quality, meaning that you have excellent customer service, you have quality products, you have fair market pricing, and you love Black people, if you're not that company and you're not that Black business owner, this is not the place for you. So when we go out and have business done for people, we know that these people are going to give you excellent customer service. Patrina is going to treat you like the king and the queen you deserve to be, but you also have to be respectful. So if you set up a time with Patrina, don't tell her you're going to meet with her at 3 o'clock such and such day, and then don't even call and let her know that you can't make it. Now, if you have a hospital deal or emergency come up, that's fine. But if you just blow her off, don't do that. Because when I start getting those callbacks, it's a Rhinos Nation sponsor that you're doing X, Y, Z, I'm going to have one conversation with you, and that's going to be the one and only conversation. The next time you do that, then you out. You're not going to be disrespectful, not only to other business owners, but also to our customers, because we have a label here that we give our quality customer service to everybody that's on our team. No ifs and buts about it. And if you think I'm joking, ask Patrina. She'll tell you, we don't play here. As well as Tommy getting to know us, CW been knowing us for quite a few years. We have a lot of companies and business owners also. I know she's concentrating in the Memphis, Tennessee area today, but we have a lot of our sponsors also in the Dallas-Fort Worth as well as the Texas area. So we got quite a few people there. We got people in New York. We got people in Mississippi, Arkansas, Arizona. So we spread out pretty good. We went over Memphis because our business headquarters is here in Memphis, Tennessee. Now, I don't know if we're going to continue to be here in Memphis, Tennessee. We're looking at we probably be moving next year to Texas. So anybody right now have any questions they want to ask, and please don't be embarrassed because this is why you're here. Anybody got any questions to ask Patrina? And matter of fact, hold that real quick. Let me go over something because I'm going to help you because some people are shy, so they don't want to ask questions. Right now, we went over that. For those that need a business plan, she has a team that helps with business plans. Now, the micro loans, could you please explain it a little more on the micro loan part for us, Queen, if you don't mind?
Yeah, so a micro loan is available to any business owner, usually through a CDFI. So, you're hearing about the traditional banks. The banks have documentation requirements. The CDFIs still have requirements, but they also recognize that we're inexperienced. I was inexperienced when I started this business, even though I had a background in law. My goal wasn't necessarily to start a business. And so with that being the case, you have to go out there and get the education or resources you need. So that is the focus of most CDFIs, is to give you the education, the resources, and the capital that you need to go out and get your business. So anything under $50,000 is really considered a microloan. And like I said, they have programs that are specifically for that. Like People Fund right now, if you go to their website, they call them flash funds. With a credit score of 600 and a business plan, you can get money up to $25,000, either $10,000 or $25,000 for your business. There's one, and they're right here. They only serve Houston, unfortunately, but it's the Houston Business Development Inc., HBDI. And they also have microloans for the community up to $50,000. But again, you can also, if you're positioned well, begin to get the larger funding. So CDFIs are just like banks. They can go all the way up to, I believe, $5 million in funding for their loans. That means you got to have security. You got to have, a business plan that makes sense to them. But the funding is available through them.
Now, here again is she can help you with those things you need in order to go out and get a micro loan. Suppose you just walking in yourself, say, well, okay, let me see if I can do this by myself. So you don't be stumbling around, lose time and lose money. Get with a professional. They can actually help you walk through those procedures where you can get it done and not lose a whole lot of time and money getting it done. And then be disappointed if you don't. Okay, now on the core services, she handles a lot of those things. We want to make sure y'all understand that. She actually has, not only she does the grant writing, she helps you make sure you are actually have your ducks in a row before you go out and try to acquire. Let me say it again, before you try to go out and acquire these grants, these loans and the other things, where you don't have to be stumbling out there and figure out, I don't know why they didn't turn me down or why they threw my stuff away, because you weren't prepared. They're not going to be asking you. They don't have time to babysit you. They're not going to do that. They got thousands and thousands of people that they get stuff from all the time on request. So if your stuff is not in order, they're not going to take the time out to try to explain it to you. Your stuff just went in the trash. It's just that simple. So why do that when you can get with somebody that's professional that can actually help you get through all that and don't have to bother with those things? Please get with her on that as well. And one more last thing. Hold on real quick. I know I had one more question or comment on you. The grant management part. Oh, yes, Lord. Let me go with this. Not only did you have to have a hard time trying to get the grants, is that she's going to actually help you if you need the assistance to be able to manage the grants, because they do have stipulations on getting these grants. They're not just going to say, well, here you go, CW, here, just take $500,000 and do whatever you want with it. No, it don't work that way. So they're giving out free money, but there are some strings attached to that free money. And they don't almost, if I'm not mistaken, they don't always give it to you all at one time. So you can just go out there and blow it. So it's going to be stifling it. And if you start screwing up, because I know that's one thing Patrina does, Patrina goes out there and actually check to make sure on these deals that these folks are using the grant properly. And if they're not, she's going to report that these companies not doing. She gets paid to go out and check to see if these companies doing what they're supposed to do when they get this free money. So if she's not one, they're going to have somebody that's going to check. And if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, what are the penalties for that, Patrina? They just continue to give you the money and say, I don't care or what?
No. Either you give the money back or you go to jail. It just depends on who it is that's giving you the money. And that's actually one of the things I tell my clients. I'm not going to jail for you. I'm not going to jail with you. And I don't want you to go to jail. Grant management is getting the money is actually the easier part than managing it. Particularly if you're talking about federal funds. And so you want to make sure that you have, that's one of the reasons why I talked about your accounting system. If you don't have that in place, you're going to struggle managing the grant. And so these days, it used to be I could ask for in my grant applications and say, hey, we don't have an accounting system in place today, but we will when you give us the money, we'll go out and get it. And now it's a requirement for several grants that they're like, you can't even apply if you don't have an accounting system. So just FYI, I don't care what it is, go out there and try to make sure you have those things in place.
Now, I'm like Patrina. I love you, but I don't love y'all that much to go to jail for you. I'm just letting you know, I love y'all, and I've been, we've been doing this a long time, but I don't know you that well that I'm spending one day in jail for interview all. Please get with a professional. This is why we stress the professional part. Please get with a professional so you don't have to deal with this nonsense. Not only did it help you to get the grant, but to make sure that you can maintain it. And also on top of that, as Patrina will tell you all that, they like to sometimes even give you more grants once you get the first one. They got no problem in doing that. But if you're not going to do right the first time, they're not going to just, I know you CW as an example because I've been knowing that brother for years. They're going to come to you and say, well, CW, you blew the first 500,000. We're just going to give you another 500,000 this year. It don't work like that. You live in la la land. Okay. We are Black business owners. There are some hurdles we have to go through that other ones do not. I'm always realistic. That's why we have a Black business owner on our team that specializes in getting grants. She already knows the roadblocks and the hurdles and pitfalls already, so she can help you avoid those deals. That's why you want to pay. When we said at the beginning, you pay money to do what? Not only to make money, but also to be able to do what? Save money and time by getting professionals on our team. Now, again, we will pay up to 80% of your bill. Let me say it again. Rhinos Nation. If you are a Rhinos Nation sponsor, please get with us as soon as possible. Right now, we're doing a special for a limited time where it's only $200 a year. Our regular price, even Patrina's paid it, is a regular price for sponsors is $1,000 a year. And that's dirt cheap for less than $100 a month. We're doing it now for $200 a year because right now we got a special contract that we're working on to bring in 300 to 500 businesses before the spring of next year. Because we have a major program, a project that they got with 40,000 plus people that's going to be in the community that they're going to want service only from Black businesses. That means everything from infrastructure to construction to the necessities, food, diapers, clothes, toys, books, all those things that you actually need. We just had a guy that came on today that actually was looking at opening his own grocery store. We're talking to Black farmers. There's grant money for Black farmers. So please, people, if you need help and assistance, get with us today. We're doing it, but again, we're going to be very limited on how long and how many we're going to be doing for that $200 special. So you need to get in now because we actually want to do this. And if you want to be doing with Patrina, you better pay us. It saves you more money getting with us now than giving her 100% cash. I can tell you that walking in the door. And now, if you don't mind giving Patrina again, she will take your cash. She has no problem there. You can what the commercial. You can pay us now, pay us later. You can pay us now and save money with Trina, or you can just pay Patrina straight out. Whichever one you will do is fine with me. You got the money to do it. Hats off to you. Any questions? I see you got a. Oh, I'm sorry, Patrina. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say I think Marcus has a question.
Go ahead, Marcus. Can you hear me, King?
Yeah, I can hear you. So for the business owners that they have a job, they don't have a stream of cash in their LLC or their business, could they still acquire for this grant or be looking towards this grant, or they have to have some type of stream of cash in their business? Let's say they have the business plan already, but they don't have no stream of cash in there in the business or no stream of revenue that's coming in out of the LLC or their business. Is that possible?
It depends on the funder. So, some funders will say there's no revenue requirement. Other funders will say, no, we need to see that you've raised revenue at some level. Usually the level that I'm seeing is about 25,000. So, it just depends on what it is that you're doing. And then what your business plan shows. And then sometimes they'll ask you, like, or maybe a CDFI will say, hey, we see that you have not, created any revenue through this business, but is there a reason why? Is there, have you not started it because you didn't have the income? But they can see through the business plan that you're going to raise revenue if you have the resources to get started. So it just really depends on who you're seeking funding from, and what the terms and conditions are, what they require.
Okay.
And there are different grants, King. There are tons of grants out there, and almost all of them have different qualifications.
Yeah.
It's not no one grant. It's not like they all cookie cutters and everybody use the same criteria.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at excuse me, I didn't mean to cut you off. Because I'm looking at some of us work and we got a business, but we take care of our due diligence on the other end, but we trying to get this other business going, and we looking for the funds to get that going, to extract from the business that we doing for the 9 to 5 or whatever that case may be. I know that you don't look for escape, but they're just throwing it out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's bootstrapping. That's what, most of us do when we get started, is that we are still working our primary job, taking money from the primary job to bootstrap and get the business up and running until it can sustain and support itself. And so definitely understand that concept. That's what we do as Black business owners. That's where the microfunds come in. That will help you be able to get started without necessarily, continuing to bootstrap. So, as with anything, they want to know you got skin in the game. And so helping or starting or doing any level of revenue will help any funder make a decision about whether or not they want to invest in you and your organization.
We have a question from Cynthia.
And Cynthia and I have been playing.
Yes.
So thank you so much for being here, Cynthia.
Thank you.
I'm like, she and I have missed an appointment. I missed it, and she missed it, and so
we've been playing
we'll get together.
Yeah, we've been playing it. But I will make an appointment, because I definitely want to take advantage of the benefits with having recognition with Rhino Nation. And I have a question as far as for a startup, as far as like, say when we do our call. Should I have my EIN, all that set up and everything? Do you prefer, how do you prefer as far as startup to?
Depends on how quickly you're trying to get started. So if your company is not formed and you're needing support with that, we definitely do that in terms of going out there, helping you get your EIN, your formation process. We do that.
Okay.
But if you're looking for funding, and you're looking for funding in the next 6 months, then your business should be already in formation and you're operating, because that's the key thing. Where are you in your process? And that drives whether or not we're doing grant seeking or whether we're coming back and we're doing some formation, some capacity building. So it just really depends on where you are and what your focus is.
Okay. Yeah, because you said generally for applying for a grant, you generally need to apply in the mindset of what you said, like 30 to 60 6 months in advance before.
Correct.
Okay.
For funding. Yeah. So anything that I'm applying for right now, and we're probably looking at you getting funded somewhere around June, July. Anything December. And December is kind of a dead month anyway, but definitely January, February, they're probably going to review applications and make award decisions around June, May, June. And that may mean that you're looking for, funding for the second half of 2026, and maybe 27. So
yeah,
that's very common. Matter of fact, I have a grant application that I've been doing for years through the state of Texas. That funding will roll out hopefully in the next couple of weeks. Usually it's around the middle of the month, and it will probably be due. It used to be due in 60 days in February. Now with these new federal government guidelines, it may be 2 weeks. So it may roll out in the middle of December and be due by December 31st. And we will not get an award or an answer on that one until the end of September, or this year they were slow because of the government shutdown. One of my clients didn't get an answer on that one until the first of November.
Oh, wow.
I think it was like Halloween. So government grants can be even slower.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll definitely be setting up another appointment. All right. Thank you.
Now, thank you all. Now, please understand when she said it, there are differences between government grants, your organization grants, and your corporation grants. Matter of fact, even Rhinos Nation has done grants. I forgot all about we did the two grants with you, the community grants with you last year, Queen. I forgot all about we paid for those.
Yeah, that was this time last year.
I forgot. I forgot. We do a lot. So I just forgot that. And I got a great memory, but I forgot we even paid for that. Ladies and gentlemen, we even have 2 grants. We did 2 grants. Matter of fact, before that, we had 2 grants we put out for $10,000 a piece, and we had nobody, 0, to sign up for them. Not a single person called in and said, Tucker, I want to apply for the grant. We had one for startups, strictly startup. I mean, it was you less than a year in business, and we had another one for established business. That means that you was at least a year old in business. We didn't have a single person do that. Now we're gonna try it again this year. I already talked to Patrina about doing that. I mean, this coming year. I don't know when we're gonna put that out, but it would not be 3 to 6 months on it. We're gonna put it out probably the beginning or the end of January. We probably put the grant out, but it's gonna be have it available for probably within the first 2 months after that. So anywhere between maybe March or April. Because I want to make sure that we're going to be helping people to get in for this big project we're working on for those that can use the funding. But we also are already helping with funding now. So we do there's other ways to get funding besides grants. Matter of fact, the beauty of actually dealing with Patrina right now is she can actually help you with a business plan that not only help you with getting the grants, but also help you with getting money when it comes to going out and getting loans. Some of these loans and things of that nature, they're going to be looking for you to actually have what? A business plan. We're going to be looking for you to have a business plan to get our grant. If you don't have a business plan, you will not be able to qualify for a Rhinos Nation grant. Why? We're not giving you money to go out there and say, well, I'm going to figure it out when I get the money. No, you're not going to do that. If you don't have a plan already in place, you will not be able to qualify for the Rhinos Nation deal. We don't have a lot of red tape like a lot of these people do. That's the great thing about going through corporations. We are a corporation. Great thing about corporations, we don't have a lot of red tape like the government has. Everybody has a whole lot of red tape and hurdles for you to jump through. A lot of companies don't. Some company might come out and say, you know what, I want to give a grant away. I'm going to do it in probably 30 days. You never know until you see it. And the great thing about it is Patrina actually is looking for grants all the time, and she knows where to look for them. We as individuals as a whole, we don't know. We'll go out there and look for this company or that one particular deal or that one little icon, but that's it. Patrina does this for a living. They're like I tell people all the time, I'm not going to the auto mechanic and then going to try to explain to him how to fix my engine. I have no clue. I don't work on engines. I don't even want him to explain to me all the little details of what he got to do in my engine. I don't want to know. I'm not trying to learn how to fix an engine. I just need to know 3 things. How long it's going to take, how much it's going to cost, and what can I do to prevent this problem again if I can. Those are the only 3 things I need to know. Where the boats goes and the pistons, how they work, and I grew up working on cars as a little boy, but now now they become electronic and all this other stuff. I don't work on cars. Even if I did, I would still pay a professional to come and fix a car. It makes no sense to go out there and try to figure it out yourself, hurt yourself, kill yourself, or go out there and spend money and time that you don't have anymore, and then have to later on pay somebody to come back and actually clean up the mess you made. I said it because I want to stress to you all how important it is to get a professional. Even if you don't go with Patrina, get a professional. The beauty of going with Patrina is she is not only a professional, she is a qualified professional. Not only she's a qualified professional, she's one of us. And on top of that, We know she's going to take care of you because she actually knows our rules and guidelines of treating you with excellent customer service, and we also foot 80% of your bill. That's a lot. Anybody else got any questions for Patrina before we get out? Please do not be embarrassed. We had some great questions today. I know we got some guests on the phone. I talked to some of the people today. If y'all got some questions, you need to be asking her now because you got her on the phone right now. You can talk to her now. Anybody got any additional questions or concerns about grants, period, or getting a grant from her? All minds are clear. Don't say we didn't help you out. Mr. Whitley put in, what is the rate offered for business plans? You have do you have a particular rate, or you got, I think she's got probably a different business plan. Go ahead, Queen.
So it depends on, the type and the business structure. But they generally start out around $1,000. So as I say, I refer to my person. I don't write them myself any longer. And so but come correct, because Colinda Howard don't play. So have in mind what you want to do, and she's going to help you structure it and get a plan for you.
Now, would you go on outsourcing it? Would that still work through us, Patrina, on our deal?
Yes.
Let me stress this real quick. That's $1,000 for a business plan, certain business plans. Why pay $1,000 when you can pay $200? Yeah, Rhinos Nation will cover the other $8. Now, if you got the $1,000, no problem. But it still would be wise to spend other people's money and to save yours. That just seems to show you that you're a more intelligent person than just going out there blowing money to prove that, hey, I can burn $1,000. And they're just not on Mr. Whitley. I'm just putting it out there for anybody. We pay 80% of your bill going to Patrina. Let me pull this up real quick so you'll see that. So now that we're saying that here, and this is being recorded, let me show you all this because you can go to our website, and it actually tell you on our website, and please pull our website up. You can go to rhinosnation.com. rhinosnation.com. Let me share that with you real quick, and then we will actually get out here because I want to make sure I stay on point. I'm pulling up where you go right to our page on where we actually show you where we pay for this money. This is our website, rhinosnation.com, and you go to where we're saying, you'll see on here where it said the Barter Exchange Network members, for those that get in the barter deal, she's the only company that we pay 80% of your bill. That 80% is Rhinos Nation giving you 80% of your money. The 20% is what you pay out of your pocket to Patrina. I don't care if it's 1,000, 10,000, 100,000. We pay 80%. We'll help you pay up to 80%. You pay the 20%. The grant writing and all the other core services she has today. We have other companies on here as well. We pay up to 50%. You need your computer done, graphic design for those that need a website, brochures, advertising whatsoever, business consulting deal. For those that actually looking for business loans, we're going to have them on the call next year. The credit mate. Matter of fact, they will be on next week, come this next Saturday. The Credit Mate LLC will be on talking about credit repair and credit restoration. We will pay 50% of your bill going through them. Advertising, transportation. There's a lot of things, and we're bringing more and more companies in. Please go to our website for information. Right now, again, we are doing a special for those that want to come in on the sponsorship deal. And like I said, you have to talk to us. We're doing it right now. We have $800 off. You're only paying $200. You get to save money, hundreds of dollars coming through us, opposed to going directly through Patrina or going directly to Tommy, who's going to be talking next Saturday about getting your credit cleaned out. Again, we're doing everything we can to possibly help as many of our Black business owners as we can to make sure you have the proper tools and you have the funding to actually be able to run an efficient business. Any other questions on that? And I really love and appreciate all my guests. Any of our guests on our call that are not sponsored with Rhinos Nation, y'all have any questions for her or for myself at this time before we shut it down? And if you haven't signed in the chat room area, if you're not driving, please do that now. I see we have Princess Pope. Princess Pope, can you actually take your phone off mute if you're not busy or swamped in a meeting and let us know who you are? Because I have not talked to you today. You want to last guest I just got on here. Anybody got any questions or concerns? Any comments?
Hi, very nice to meet you. Thank you for having me today. I'm a builder, developer, designer here in Dallas, Texas, also a real estate agent. So I'm very happy to be on the call and thank you for spreading the knowledge and the wealth and the financial literacy.
Thank you,
All
Princess.
right.
Now, who referred you, might I ask?
Theo, Mr. Theo did.
Theo did. You put that in the chat room already for us, Queen?
No, I haven't. What would you like me to say?
Just put it in the name, was referred to, put your name in there and just refer by the person that referred you to us.
Okay, no problem.
I appreciate that. Now, and here's the thing. The people that's on our call right now, our sponsors, we pay them to even come to our business meetings. Am I right about that, Patrina? Patrina just got $100, not just as a speaker. She got $100 for just coming on the call. We pay people. Make sure y'all understand this. We pay our sponsors to come in and get the knowledge to become more professionals. We pay you to do that. Every time you come to a business meeting that we have arranged, workshops, seminars, conference calls, we pay you $100 if you sign up for our barter system. We pay you $50 extra for coming 5 minutes early. We pay you for sending us in referrals. We pay you for actually, even once you sign up, we put $500 into your account to use to actually better yourself for your business. We do this and we've been doing it for years. Now, again, if you wish to go out there and do it on your own, we're not knocking it. But for those that need help and want to help, we're here to do that. Tommy, can you hear me, King? Tommy's going to be speaking next week on credit repairs and how to help you be able to get funding and how to be able to help your business grow to make sure not only your personal credit is in place, but also your business credit. Tommy, can you talk to us real quick about a couple of minutes?
Yeah, I'm here.
Go ahead and let them know what you're going to be. They should be expecting to come next Saturday on the call.
Yeah, I'm with the Credit Mate, and I'll be speaking with about repairing credit. The points I'll be going over is how credit reporting really works, your rights under the federal law, how to identify what's going to be removed, the dispute process, how to remove, what I'll be removing on negative accounts, how to build positive credit, and I'll be touching on a little bit about business credit as well.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we're going to be scheduled for this coming Saturday. Okay? Please call in about at least 10 minutes early if you can, at least 5 minutes early. We want to start on time. I apologize, Patrina, for actually starting a little late today because I got a little behind. I got family that came in town and I spent breakfast with them and then I had to run back and get it all set up. I'm not making excuses because at the end of the day, I should have had things in place. So I won't have family in town come next Saturday. As far as I know, there was a last minute thing of one of their friends that died, so they had to come in for a funeral. So what we're going to be doing now, we will be scheduled to set up for you to come in and talk to Tommy, to ask him personally, directly, what you can do about your credit. We don't want you to put your personal information out there. We never ask for that. You all to actually ask basic information. I will actually lead with some questions because I know some people are embarrassed to ask questions. I don't know for the life of me why when it comes to these kind of things, because the white corporations are doing billions of dollars and they still ask questions. So don't be embarrassed. If you don't know, you need to ask because that's the only way we can help you. We have a deal when you sign up. First thing you do when you sign up with Rhinos Nation, tell them, Patrina, we have you fill out a needs and want form. That means you're going to tell us. We don't guess. Patrina fills it out every year, what she needs and what she wants that we can do to help her run her business more efficient. So we don't have to guess what HL needs or what Tommy needs or CW or Cynthia. They're going to tell us. You sign up, you're going to tell us what you need, and we're going to let you know what we already have and what we're looking at to do to actually make sure that we can help you with some of the services. We can't do everything, but we're going to do a lot. So we're going to not only help you with the funding, we're going to help you with the business plan. We'll help you with the graphic design. We'll help you with the marketing. There's a lot of things we have in place right now. We're definitely helping everybody right now with the funding. Those that need funding, we're helping you right now with funding. And also come next month, we have We had Raymond on the phone. He was on the call. Raymond and Taurus actually have an organization they help called the Business Solution for Funding Solution for Business. They actually help you with getting money in everything from business credit cards to loans to lines of credit anywhere from $250,000 to $500,000 plus for you. And it doesn't even matter if you're a startup or not. Now, those things you do have to pay back, but that is big money to actually help you get your business started where you're going to be using those funds. Rhinos Nation helping you with funding right now as well, with a lot of things from actually coming to the business meetings, referrals, and things of that nature to actually help you get your grants, your loans, your credit repair, your marketing, your business plans, all those, your LLC, your C corporation, all of those things that you need to run an efficient business. Rhinos Nation is helping you right now to this day, and we're going to be bringing in more people to do more to actually help us get it done. Again, we have a huge project we're working on for those that are interested in that. You do not have to service all 40,000 people that's going to be in this community, but you need to be able to service. If you're doing business as consumers, we're looking at you doing at least a minimum of 100, and I think they're going to stretch to at least a minimum of 1,000 people on a regular basis. And you're talking about job security. That means that you got 1,000 to 30 to 40,000 people that looking at you doing business with you on a regular, daily, weekly, or monthly basis. That means that you actually can grow your business. Not only have the funds, but you also have now the customer base coming in on a regular basis. That is huge. Most black businesses don't have 1,000 customers in their lifetime, let alone on a weekly or daily basis. So we have that available. Anybody got any questions or concerns before we shut it down? For those that are guests, if we don't have your contact information, please let me ask you this. This is just an ask. If you don't mind leaving us your contact information, if you would like to actually let us know what is a good day or time for us to contact you, we'd like to do that. I don't believe in a lot of red tape. We're here to help you, but we don't beg anybody. We don't run anybody down. We're not going to browbeat you. We're not going to call you a lot of times. If you tell us don't call you such and such, we're not going to do that. Patrina tell you up front, I don't chase grown people. That's not what we do. But if you need our assistance, I want to make it as easy as possible so you don't have to do cold calling. We would reach out. If you need a time that you wanted to contact us, if you wish to do that, leave us a time and a date. Our phone number, let me put that in real quick for you all so you can have that. I want anybody to get that confused on our information, again, is on the website. Please go there and get that as well. But I'll put that in there. For Rhinos Nation, first thing is our phone number. Put it in there, 901-491-7529. And our email, you can get my direct line to my email. I got no problem with that. You can call me, send me an email directly to me, dltuck@rhinosnation.com. Okay? I got no problem with that as well. I'll take them directly, as well as the website. I'm putting it in the chat room area. Now, the people that's going to see the video, they're not going to see this. So just go to our website, people, www.rhinosnation.com, okay? And you can get that information. All right, so I put that in there now. For those that's in the chat room area, you can get that now. Anybody got any questions before we shut it down? This has been a wonderful meeting. Again, I want to tip my hat to Patrina for giving us such a beautiful presentation. Very, very enlightening, very educational. For those that need the information on grants, she has more information. If you contact her, set up a time, be professional, and make sure you follow through with her because she is there to help you. Patrina, you want to say anything before we shut down and follow up before we get off here today?
A couple of things. One, I talked about proposals really, really lightly, but a proposal can be really, really simple. You can simply sign up with a company to offer a service that you already offer. So it may not be something they're looking for, because right now I have a tutoring company that signed up with a local school district to become a tutoring, and they got a contract. So it could be as simple as that. The other thing is I corrected it in the chat. I said Trust State Bank. It is Tri-City State Bank that is corrected. So for those who are seeing the presentation and heard me say that, they're gonna be like, that's not right. You're right. I looked it up, it's Tri-State. And in general, if you just want to have a consultation with me, just go to the website, businessofcharity.com, and you will be able to schedule an appointment at your convenience. And so I'm looking forward to working with you all. As I said, I've worked with many Rhinos Nation clients and sponsors, even some who came who are not members, who ultimately came and got services and received services from us. And so we are happy to help. So until then, or until next time, thank you so much for letting me come in and speak to you all. And Darrick left briefly, I'm sure.
Can you hear me? Can everybody hear me?
Now we can.
Yeah, my computer shut down, so it's a good thing I actually already hit it on my phone. Anybody that want to, please, everybody, please thank our guest speaker today. She did a wonderful job. Let her know. For those that are also guests, please leave us your contact information if you wish to do that. If you just wish to leave it just with Patrina or with me personally, if you got a business though, just put it in there because this is the way people can contact you. You leave your business phone number in there. And then if you wish, let us know what's a good day and a good time. We will only call you if you let us know what's a good day and time for that. But we want to make sure we send that information out there because the people that were referred in by your guests, they may not be sponsored with us right now. For the people that Tommy sent in, yes, Tommy is one of our sponsors, but I don't know some of the other sponsors. I mean, other people that actually referred you. If you got it off of social media, whatever, please leave us the information. Thank you so much. Enjoy your weekend. If you have not signed the chat room area before you shut down today, please do us that favor and sign in the chat room area. Y'all have a most wonderful weekend and may God continue to bless you all. Good day.
Bye, y'all.